Hi parents and students, we are finally here. We're getting ready to go on our Keys trip that we've been waiting an entire year to go on just in a few days. So a couple things that I want to go over. We just think for time, for making sure that we have everything, that we would love for you to drop your students' bags off here at Southwest on Sunday, March 5th between 4 and 5:30. A couple of reasons for that. Number one, it's just going to make it much easier for us Monday morning to get the buses loaded. Number two, we kind of have a checklist of things that we're going to ask your kids to show us to just make sure they have what they need. And that way, if they did forget something, no harm, no foul, you'll be able to bring it Monday morning. If you can't make it Sunday, don't worry about it. This is an ideal situation. We know that you have other things going on, prior commitments. But if you can, we would love to see you between 4 and 5:30. Drop-off and pickup times. Monday morning, we would like to have kids here between 6:30 and 7. The cafeteria is not open. I don't even think those wonderful women and men that work down there are even here that early. So they're going to have no access to food. I understand if they're not hungry right away in the morning, but maybe send them in with McDonald's or send them in with something yumminess you make at home, but we're not going to have access to breakfast foods. Also on Monday, when we leave to go, we have to have eaten lunch before we get to Marine Lab. So we are going to do a picnic at John Pennekamp, which is a really famous state park down there in the Keys. We're asking, begging you to not send in your reusable lunch totes. It's just another thing that we're going to have to keep track of, and we're going to have to make sure students get them on Wednesday. I'd really rather not. Ideally, if you could pack actually a brown sack lunch, that would be awesome with your student's name on it. We'd much appreciate it. When are we returning? We're coming back Wednesday night. We're anticipating about 5:30, but you guys know how South Florida traffic can be. What I'm planning on doing is have students call or text when we hit Fellsmere, and I can send out a mass email too to all of you that's happening. When we do pick up, please don't park out front. We're actually going to do the side lot, the faculty parking lot. If you're parked back there and we can get the buses in, that's just going to be a much smoother transition than trying to get 74 kids in and out of the front of the school. The itinerary, just again, in case you wanted to go over it, we are packed. My program details say that the kids are busy until 10 o'clock at night. I know a lot of you are going to want to speak to your kids, say goodnight, ask them how their day is, but I don't want you to be alarmed if they don't answer you at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Well, that's probably because we're doing a field trip or on a boat. Students are not allowed to bring cell phones or electronics with them on boats. Of course they can have them with them, but they cannot bring them on boats. And it did come up last night. Well, what about pictures? I would get an underwater disposable camera. Just pick one up of those nice Kodaks. They work awesome. Put your kid's name on it. Real pictures are still a thing, so that could be great. So just note the times, and of course you can certainly talk to your kids, but just be aware that they're not always going to have their cell phones with them. Snacks. This is not my rule because, as you know, I like to eat a lot. This is Marine Lab's rule. They do not allow students, adults, anyone to have food in the rooms. However, there is an area that they do have set aside for us to keep snacks. So if you want to send in snacks for small group consumption, I certainly don't expect you to send in snacks for 74 people. But if you want to send in some things, we would greatly appreciate it if you could send it in Sunday so we can get our coolers and our bags packed with that. That would be fantastic. Some forbidden items. Spray sunscreen is expressly forbidden on Marine Lab's campus. Don't even pack it. Don't try to sneak it. It's not going to work. There's a couple reasons for it. One, ecologically, it's not awesome. Two, it stains everything. And number three, a lot of times the kids don't spray their the coverage areas correctly, and so they end up getting sunburnt anyway. So just send in the nice creams. Disposable water bottles. We cannot have Evian water bottles, Zephyrhills water bottles. I can't even bring a case of water with me. Every student needs a refillable water bottle, preferably labeled with their initials or name, something that we know that it belongs to your kid. And that is something we're going to check for on Sunday. And I feel like I'm just going to put that codicil out there, the last bullet. Yeah, we can't have any of that stuff. I don't expect that to ever be an issue with our fantastic students, but if I don't say it, you never know. All right, attire. Yes, we're going to the Keys. Yes, students can wear tank tops, they can wear shorts. However, if you have to question whether or not you should bring it, don't bring it. So shorts should cover rear ends, tank tops should cover stomachs and bosoms. It's the same thing with bikinis. Of course, girls can wear two-piece bathing suits, but if it's questionable, just don't pack it. We're not going South Beach clubbing. We're going on an educational field trip, and we're representing the great Southwest. Please refer to the packing list. I've hopefully attached it to this email in case you didn't see it from your student. Additional money, you've all already paid me the $10 for Golden Corral, which thank you so much. And they really don't need any money. However, you know your kids. Let me tell you what they have there. There is a vending machine. There is a gift shop. So even though I'm sure all of you are going to help contribute and drop off snacks, it's never good enough for these kids sometimes. And they want to go recklessly spend a couple bucks on a treat. And that's totally up to you. That's your discretion. Talking about wetsuits, Marine Lab does have wetsuits available for rental. They're for 3 days. They're $10. It's cash only. I can deal with that. So if you want to send that $10 in on Monday with me, I can make sure they get all they need. I mean, the water temperatures are predicted to be about 75 degrees, which initially it's going to be cold, but they're kids. So after they're snorkeling, they're swimming around, I expect that it's not going to be an issue. But you know your kids best, and you know what they'll probably likely prefer to do. All right, when we get back on Thursday and Friday, I know the kids are going to be tired. They're not going to want to come to school. I just want to put this out there. If you choose to keep your kids at home or the kids stay at home, those absences are not excused. So that's certainly your preference, but it is normal school as usual. I also want to say work from non-GAP classes, Spanish, geometry, and geometry is a GAP class, but it's a high school credit. Same with Spanish. Anything that Ms. Powers, Ms. Jamad, any other teacher assigns, you are responsible for doing. Now, for the core teachers like Dunk, me, McGregor, all of us, we are giving our students staying behind a different assignment, and our students, this is an educational trip. They don't have additional work to make up. Cell phone numbers. I'm just going to pause here for a minute. Please feel free to call Katie or myself if you need anything. I plan on having my phone with me at all times. I have to. Katie as well. So if you need anything, if you're worried, if you're concerned, if you just need to ask a question, you can text. These are both our cell phone numbers. Of course, just tell me who you are when you send the text or give me a shout. Questions, this is more for my live audience. However, if any of you have questions, please don't hesitate to email me. Today's Friday, March 3rd, and I look forward to hearing from you. And I think that about sums it up, and you guys have a great day.